This video has been re-edited to help improve your English skills. It has been reorganized into 3 different segments, each with varying levels of sentence structure and vocabulary. The first segment is designed with sentence construction and vocabulary suitable for 6th to 8th grade American students. The second segment is aimed at 9th to 10th grade levels, with more advanced language usage. The final segment is tailored for 11th to 12th grade or college-level students, featuring AP-level English sentences and vocabulary. This video was created to assist you in your English vocabulary studies, and after the third segment, there will be an explanation of important advanced vocabulary.
In 1685, when King Charles II passed away, his brother James II quickly stepped in as the new King of England and Scotland. This showed how kings often passed their crowns to family members. Charles II didn't have any kids to take over, so James II was next in line because of the rules about who becomes king. Being king wasn't easy for James II. A big problem was that he followed the Catholic faith, but most of his people were Protestant, which caused a lot of worry and disagreement. His time as king was filled with arguments about religion and how the country should be run. James II wanted more control, but more and more people thought it was important to share power between the king and the government. This time in history was super important because it led to big changes, like the Glorious Revolution. This event helped shape how the government and the king would work together in the future in Britain.
In 1685, when King Charles II died, his brother James II quickly became the new King of England and Scotland. This big change showed how important it was for kings to pass down their power to family members. Charles II didn't have any children who could take over, so James II was the next in line because of the rules about who gets to be king next. James II's time as king was full of problems. One big issue was that he was Catholic, but most of his kingdom was Protestant, which made many people uneasy. His rule showed how tough things were back then, with lots of fights over religion and how the country should be run. James wanted to have more control, but many people were starting to think that there should be more balance between the king's power and the government's power. This period was really important because it led to big changes, like the Glorious Revolution, which helped shape the way the government and the king worked together in Britain.
When Charles II passed in 1685, James II of England and 7th of Scotland immediately ascended the throne, highlighting the entrenched principle of hereditary succession. This event wasn't just a formality, it underscored the Stuart dynasty's intent to solidify royal dominion post-English Civil War and Commonwealth chaos. Charles II's lack of legitimate heirs left James as the uncontested successor, per succession laws. James II's tenure, however, was fraught with challenges, notably his Catholicism in a predominantly Protestant nation, stirring public mistrust and political tension. His reign epitomized the era's religious and political strife, with his absolutist leanings clashing against emerging constitutionalist sentiments. This period, pivotal in British history, set the stage for the Glorious Revolution, reshaping the monarchy-parliament dynamics and steering Britain towards constitutional governance. Ascended, from Latin ascendere, meaning to climb up, meaning to move upward or to climb to a higher position. Example, the balloon ascended into the sky. Connection, when Charles II died, James II ascended the throne, indicating he climbed to the position of king. Entrenched, from French entrencher, meaning to cut into, as in making defensive trenches, meaning firmly established and difficult to change. Example, the tradition was so entrenched in the community that it was followed by everyone. Connection, the entrenched principle of hereditary succession refers to the deep-seated tradition of passing the throne down within the royal family. Dynasty, from Greek dynastai, meaning to be able or to have power, meaning a series of rulers from the same family, often over a long period. Example, the Qing dynasty was the last imperial dynasty of China. Connection, the Stuart dynasty sought to reinforce their rule after the English Civil War, demonstrating the family's enduring influence. Dominion, from Latin dominionem, meaning lordship or sovereignty, meaning control or the exercise of control, sovereignty over a territory. Example, the Queen had dominion over all her lands. Connection, The Stuarts aimed to solidify royal dominion, meaning they wanted to strengthen their rule over England and Scotland. Heirs. Origin from Latin heirs, meaning inheritor, meaning a person legally entitled to inherit property, titles, or offices upon the death of the owner. Example: the prince was one of the king's direct heirs. Connection: Charles II had no legitimate heirs, indicating no children within wedlock to take over the throne, leaving James II as the next in line. Tenure. From medieval Latin, tenura, meaning the holding of a position, meaning the period during which someone holds a particular office or position. Example: during her tenure as mayor, the city improved greatly. Connection: James II's tenure refers to the time James II was king, which was marked by various challenges. Catholicism. From Greek katholikos, meaning universal, meaning the faith, practices, and organizational structure of the Roman Catholic Church. Example: Catholicism plays a significant role in many countries around the world. Connection: James II's Catholicism was problematic since England was primarily Protestant, causing distrust and tension. Strife. From Old English strife, meaning struggle or conflict, meaning vigorous or bitter conflict, discord, or antagonism. Example: the discussion caused strife within the group. Connection: James II's reign was characterized by religious and political strife, reflecting the intense disputes of the era. Absolutist. From Latin absolutus, meaning completed or unconditional, meaning relating to a form of government where the ruler has absolute power without legal limitation. Example: the king's absolutist policies left no room for parliamentary debate. Connection: James II's absolutist leanings were at odds with the rising desire for a constitutional government, creating friction. Constitutional, from Latin constitutio, meaning regulation or order, meaning relating to an established set of principles that governs a state. Example: many countries operate under a constitutional system of government. Connection: the emerging constitutionalist sentiments opposed James II's absolute rule, favoring a government whose powers are defined and limited by a constitution.